Hello everyone, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the weekly Twin Flame message for June 24th to the 30th. We're entering a new month now again. So anyway, how was the summer/winter solstice for everyone? Let me know in the comments. It was a rather strange experience for me, not quite unpleasant. In fact, it was very calm and balanced. But the entire, the eve of the solstice, I think that was Friday, okay, I found it very strange because it felt like I was sort of plucked out. Well, the consciousness was plucked out from my body and beamed up very, very high. Okay, and then it led to a feeling of being detached and yet calm. It was like being at a vantage point wherein you could see the vast overview of what's going on here on Earth, and it didn't bring on sadness or any of those feelings. That it just brought this great understanding of how everything falls into place, and the hierarchy of the dimensions. And I feel that this is what we'll be dealing with in the next couple of days. The integration of everything that has been downloaded to us to afford us a better understanding, more wisdom, and to calibrate whatever we're doing here in this dimension in 3D with the grand scheme of things. And it's almost an intuitive understanding of how whatever you're doing here now, whatever you're going through here now, is really in sync with the divine blueprint. Okay? So anyway, let me know in the comments how your solstice was for you. And we'll still be absorbing and integrating with our physical bodies, of course, because the download was really, really fast. It was like there was no segue. It was like, man, it's there. Instant upgrade. It didn't ask anymore, do you want this upgrade to be installed? No, it was there. Okay, so anyway, let's get on with the Twin Flame Weekly reading. At the bottom of the deck, of course, as always, I've already prayed over the cards and shuffled them. And at the bottom of the deck, which would be the general energies in the reading, and if you notice, it is the Golden Age of Dragons, and that's why, together with this crystal called to me when Archangel Uriel wanted to work with me. And now we have the Phoenix and the Dragons, because we're ushering this golden age in which this gateway was very, very important. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we have here the general energies of the reading, and we see here the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords indicates stillness, inability to move, immobility. Okay, so just staying in place. And as I said earlier, I think it's because we need some time to integrate that in this dimension, which is very dense. We've just been given this massive amount of downloads, and now we need to integrate that into the physical matter, our physical lives, physical being. And so there's the stillness here, the inability to move. It's like when you're being held down to get an injection or an important procedure and you can't move just yet because it's still not set. It's still not done. It's still integrating. Okay? And see here, that's why we have the Hangman. That is pause. That is stillness. That is necessary at this time. Because look, we have here the Four of Wands. And here we have a couple meeting. Okay? Four of Wands, that is 1111. And then we have the Divine Feminine finally meeting the Divine Masculine, and they're on equal footing, on equal ground. And look at the backdrop there, all gold. And this is just wonderful, because this is what is to come after this is integrated already. And here we have the Queen of Pentacles. See, so this merger of the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, here now as the Golden Age is being ushered in, that's going to result in a Queen of Pentacles type of energy, which is not an energy only per se, but this is something that's going to be translated in your day-to-day life. It is going to be translated into something tangible, which is why this, don't be surprised, because this will take variable times for different people for them to integrate within themselves. But the message here is that this is coming. This fruition, this abundance here in that you will experience in your 3D life, that is coming because this has been set in other dimensions. You're coming into balance within your masculine and your feminine aspect, and even that of your twin. Okay, so now let's go on to the main spread. This is for those who are stumbling across my channel right now. This side is for the Divine Masculine. This side is for the Divine Feminine. Okay, and as I always say, come into balance. This is what that's talking about. Coming into balance with the Divine Feminine aspect within the Divine Masculine. Same with the Divine Feminine, coming to terms and into balance with the Divine Masculine aspect within them. And when that happens, there is this integration, this dynamic of that push-pull, the continued. It's like the rhomboid strip, the rhombus strip. Okay, wherein you don't know where it ends, you don't know where it begins, and it just continues on. Okay, and it creates its own spiral of energy, and that is especially important for twin flames, because you are amplifiers, and sort of the foundation. We're laying down the foundation and the grid work for this golden age to be ushered in here on earth. Okay, so for the Divine Masculine, first card we have is the Nine of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Princess of Wands. Okay, Divine Masculine, starting out with the Nine of Swords, starting out with a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. This can translate into even depression, nightmares, and simply worried because they're going through this change. Remember, it's kind of the last vestiges of their transformation, and now what they're worried about are the casualties of this transformation. Okay, whether there is fallout in relationships, situations, and that wherein they've had to choose. Because when you have here the Five of Swords, yes, when you're this depicts loss and winning, losses and wins. but it is winning that comes with a consequence. It's like this knight here, that even though he's won, he has successfully disarmed his opponents, it did not come for free. It came at a cost. Okay? And he's just now absorbing that, at what cost he needed to pay for this transformation to take place. And that is why there is this this feeling that the divine masculine is currently experiencing, that because of the choices that he needed to make while he was in the heat of battle. You know, because while you're undergoing through, when you're in battle, when you're undergoing the battle, you have to make quick choices, okay? And it is only afterwards when you get to assess really what kind of casualties that you had, the losses, what you had to trade for, because everything came at a cost, especially for the divine masculines. And it was the cause of his spiritually evolving, into coming to terms with him as a divine being, as a twin flame, and basically moving forward in his ascension journey. And right now he's worried about that, because look, that's why this is underneath. This is the path that he's taking on his ascension journey, and towards his own personal fulfillment on so many levels, and also interdimensionally. Okay, and so this indicates that right now he's in a period of assessment of the fallout. He's close. And that's why we have here the Ten of Wands, because it's indicating that as soon as the divine masculine comes to terms that these losses were necessary, these choices were necessary for him to move forward, then that's when he will have arrived. Okay, but right now this is weighing heavily on him. The good thing is that he realizes that it is part of his journey. Plus, we have here, the next card we have for the divine masculine is the Princess of Wands, which means that no matter how heavy the divine masculine feels the burden is, and it's the burden of that has been placed on free will, the choices that he had to make, okay? He's keen on moving forward. This is the Prince of Wands. So there is passion there. There's creativity. And there is a desire to really move forward and create anew. You can see here the garb of the princess has to do with the heart, the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra and the root. So, right now, everything that he is wanting to create, it's going to stem from the heart, the higher heart, which we have worked hard at in activating. Okay, that's why I think 2 months before I sort of went on leave from my readings. Remember, I offered the advanced RASHEEBA. There was a promotion there because we're very important that it be set and that their higher hearts be activated. And see, and now here, while this integration is taking place for the divine masculine, he's equally adamant to move forward using the heart. Look at this. The heart in matters that it's not just spiritual. This is his day-to-day. This is his 3D existence. And he wants to integrate that. Okay? And he's intent in doing that. Even if he finds it challenging and difficult. He knows he's close. And all he needs to do right now is to really come into terms, into those things that really have no more place in his life. It's like him siphoning out the truth in the situations that he can no longer find any more growth in. Okay? And this is him being sentimental, self-berating, but he realizes that it was necessary. Because we're at a point wherein you have to choose. Do you want to remain stuck? Do you want to move forward? And he realizes that he needed to do that. But the challenge is, will he come to terms with it? Well, the answer is yes. But the main question is, how fast will he come to terms with it? Okay? So, for the Divine Masculines, allow them to pace themselves. They've just been through battle, change, and now they're pacing themselves to move forward. Okay? And the card here is Death. See? Transformation. Only when you fell the tree and you see these circles, they often equate to the age of the tree. It's only when you fell the tree that you can really gauge how old it is. Okay, because otherwise it looks like any other tree. Okay, and here, this transformation, all of this is related to his transformation right now. And this is him transforming and repurposing whatever he's learned on the inside into something else, something that can be more useful and in the new earth that we are currently establishing in 3D. Okay, because we've anchored it now. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say earlier on. Remember, I was telling you that I felt that I was, detached, but with an overview. So it wasn't like a sad detachment, a sentimental attachment, but it did feel like being anchored firmly to a different dimension and being given the ability to access different dimensions very smoothly. So now the shift between focusing on 3D and then focusing on 5D, on 6D, and the higher dimensions, that's going to be much smoother now. If before, whenever you've had to make a shift, there was a plethora of Ascension symptoms that you would experience. It's because of shifting, transforming the energies into something more dense to be accommodated by 3D. Now that's going to be much faster and smoother. Okay, they're showing me an image of Harry Potter. I think, if I remember correctly, 'cause it's been a long time since I watched the Harry Potter movies. And I forget what it's called when they're able to bilocate. I think they use the chimney. I forgot the term that they used, but I think when Ron did it at first, or Harry, whenever you go through that portal, you really get sick because you transform. It's literally like that. That's what used to happen, but now there is a smoother transition through that. It's almost like a bridge from one dimension to this one that you're physically living in. That's going to be smoother right now. Okay, let's get to the Divine Feminines. First card we have for them, we have the Prince of Swords. We have the Emperor. We have the Eight of Wands. And then we have the Alchemist. Okay. Okay, first message for the Divine Feminines right now. This is really veering away from the crowd, and I think it's because you were given that privilege of being detached and having that broad overview and understanding. And you can only do that when you are detached. Like I was saying earlier, I didn't know this is the card that came up. So this is really trying to get away from the chaos of everyday life, from the crowds, from that very chaotic energy. Because, like I said, there's a need to integrate this so that you can anchor it here on Earth. The solstice was to anchor you in that other dimension, in 6D or 5D, okay, so that you can usher in the golden age. And right now, it's like leaving the chaos, the very dense energies. So Divine Feminine's intent on doing that, going another direction, okay. And I know it seems tiring in a sense because it's so repetitive, but then again, that is the dynamic. You can see it repeats over and over and over. And for the Divine Feminines, because sometimes we have to ground, and then we have to detach, release ourselves from your 3D experience in order to imbibe and integrate everything that comes from above, the codes, the technology, the wisdom, and the energies especially, and then ground it again. So how does that translate into your everyday life? That's why it fluctuates. You are fully conscious of your ascension journey, and you work at it, you work on your personal ascension journey, and then there is a time wherein you have to go back into the grind and see how that plays out in your 3D existence, to ground it here for the others, because that's in the job description, right, of twin flames. So now Divine Feminine's really veering away from the crowd, because this is her goal. And remember that, and I don't know why this was the deck that we used, but I guess because we're ushering the golden age. I don't usually use the dragon and the phoenix here in my, while I do readings, but I was called to do it now. And usually even Archangel Uriel, my citron crystal, it's over here by the side. But for some reason, this is the setup. And even here, the Emperor, you can see the skies are gold. His armor is gold. And that's what we have to work on, the Divine Feminines, to really fix and put in place here in 3D. Okay? And to do that, you have to get away from what is banal, from what is chaotic, from the crowd. Because you cannot help them. It's like, if you want to lift them up, you have to find yourself in a higher position first to lift them up. And right now, this is what the Divine Feminines are intent on doing. They have to lay down the groundwork to usher in this golden age. And first order of business was to do that on an energetic level. And now it's time to bring it down to the physical. Okay? And this, like I said, because everything now with the current upgrades is going to happen more smoothly. If before in your journey there were blocks to manifestation of what you wanted, whether it is what you plan to create for yourself, what you plan to engineer for yourself, whether it was coming into union with your twin. Now that's happening much faster. There was a holding period, and it was because we had to do very important work to lay the foundation for this golden age. First, the forerunners, the volunteers, they had to be prepared. And now, this fixing, this laying the groundwork, that's going to happen much faster. Okay, and why? Because look, the Emperor, and this is what I was saying earlier when I was talking about my experience of having a broad overview of things. Because now you have an understanding of what works where and why. Okay, and having that understanding, then you can easily manipulate. Manipulate is such an ugly word, but you don't have to take it with a negative context. It's just a word. But put into place basically the things in your life in the proper perspective so that you can get to your wishes faster, the manifestation of your desires faster, and the manifestation of this new earth, wherein manifestation is instantaneous. Because look here, last card we have for the Divine Feminine, we have the Alchemist. And here, all of the ingredients, they're already there. But unlike the other decks, wherein the Alchemist has already picked out the rabbit out of the hat, you can see here, this Alchemist is deep in thought. It's like he's thinking, okay, I have this, this, and this. What am I going to make of it? Okay, it's like the mystery box in Master Chef, wherein this is what I've been given. How will I change it so that it can fit the new earth? And that requires pause and introspection. Okay, and the card we have here for the Divine Feminine is the Hermit card. Okay, and this really supports here the Prince of Swords, the taking oneself out of the energy of chaos, of banality, of being pedestrian, taking oneself out of that, not to mope, no, but really to decide what to do with all these. How to create consciously, because now manifestation, that's going to be fast, especially because things, these swords, these the elements, we've worked on them one at a time until there is completeness. And now there is a conscious creation that is being analyzed and studied. You know why? Because for some of the Divine Feminines, what you wanted before is not exactly what you want now. What you wanted for yourself, for your relationship, that's changed. Because the more the esoteric knowledge is given to you, the secret knowledge is given to you, the more that you are able to transmute those blocks that are preventing all of that from properly manifesting. And I lost my train of thought. Okay, basically what I was saying is that we worked on all these elements one at a time. It took some time. It was very challenging. But now we're at a place wherein each of these elements have been transmuted and transformed. Of course, I speak for the majority of the collective. You have to assess for yourself if this applies to you, if you're at that stage already, in transmuting each of these things into their state of purity. Why? Because that's how you can create faster. That's why this transmuting, this ascension alchemy, that's what I'll call it, is very important. Okay? Because that's how this is going to come faster in your personal lives and here in our twin mission, planetary mission. Okay, so here deciding what to create, because that's going to come very fast. So it has to be really conscious, really planned, and figuring out really what to make of what you came up with in your ascension journey. Okay, and I'm going to pick a card in the middle for both twins. Okay, here, the moon. And this, again, is confirmatory of the other cards that we've had, because the moon, this is a period wherein it's necessary, it's a necessary bridge to sunlight. You have to go through the night to get to the darkness, and that's what this is going through. Both twins are going through. So both twins becoming very highly intuitive as they go through this bridge that will catapult them into being more ready as foundation builders of the new earth. Okay, so at least for this week, that's why stillness is advised. If you have to, if you happen to find yourself, or if you have to really merge your energies with more chaotic energies or denser energies. For example, you have to go to work, or you have to deal with your family, and who have not yet gone on their journey of really transmuting themselves, then do so very sparingly, because you need this time, especially this week, to integrate all those downloads into your physicality. Okay, which is why drink lots of water, and find the silence. In fact, you're going to crave for it. It's how do you say that? Meaningless entertainment distractions, they won't be as important anymore during this period of integration. So prioritize this. Being quiet as this plays out. Okay, so that's what I have for you. And since we're still in this solstice energies, we're still in the process of imbibing it. The Solstice Booster is still up, and this is 30 minutes of Reiki with divine codes for the influx of divine love and to continue progress. This would be to support manifesting the new earth and ushering in that golden age, for willingness to be of service to mankind and to serve others from the heart with perfect understanding, grace, and ease. Actually, that's the perfect understanding, grace, and ease. That was the feeling that I got when I felt very detached. It's actually a very level feeling, not panicky, very balanced. Okay, and for the divine masculines, if you're getting one for your divine masculine so that they can get the most of the summers and winter solstice, summer slash winter, because in the other part of the world, it's it was the winter solstice. Okay, and in the other half of the world was the summer solstice. Anyway, for divine masculines to balance their divine feminine energy within them when it is too low, so that they achieve balance within themselves. Okay, so if you're interested in getting that, please head on to the website. Okay, so that's what I have for you, and I truly hope that this helped. Take care, everyone. Bye. Bye.